folks, how we doing? It is 1:39 p.m. Thursday, December 20th, 2018. 1:39, I always read it the way in America people read stuff is left to the right, down, left to the right. Numerology, I go right to left. So it was 1:39, but now it's 1:40. 139, that's 931. 139 is 931. 9 is elder, old knowledge, elder, that type of thing. 3 is usually joy, gift, people coming together, happy stuff. And 1 is the self or the whole group. So it's old knowledge, happiness, joy of everyone. 140, that's 041. 0 is completion, 4 fortitude, and 1 is self or group. For that's for me. Is anytime you read numerology, it's for you. It's a message. Okay, some people can get the same number, look at a clock, and it means something a little bit different for each of them. Happy coffee, what I used to call them, coffee talks. I'll try not to slurp. If I slurp too much, Dan will come in here and whoop my butt. Okay. I don't think we have the basic numerology thing on the website yet. Dan and I have been doing so much. She has a really bad back, and she's putting together a table for her that spreads out over the whole bed. It can extend back and forth, and it's like a work table. So that helps her. She has to twist one position and another to keep the pain down in her back. That was done to her on purpose when she was young. This is what today's topic is, and we're going to be there in just a moment. Is Christmas what it really is? I've put out some information on this before. I'll go a little deeper and explain some very simple things. There was a Santa Claus, a Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus, but not like the guy flying around a sleigh. Okay, that's a fable, a myth that was made up. But there's something that created it. It's just like the Fae beings, elves, and everything. It's a very strong myth. You'll find it throughout people's. Indigenous people from all over this planet, not just this planet, other ones, just about every planet. So they're real. That's why. But as soon as they take the thought process of something that they can't get much information on, they'll take it and expound it into whatever feels comfortable at the time. And sometimes people write stories and be popular. So they might change it one way or another for someone. Who knows? I mean, it all depends on the person and what's going on. I want to tell you how Christmas started, what it's really about. It's not what you think. I want to talk to you about Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. They're in a body. They're in bodies. They're married. They have a metaphysical shop. It's called Forever and a Day in Woodstock, Georgia. I'm not going to give their names. I gave the name of the store. They're really nice people. The store has some wonderful people in there. They have wonderful quality stuff. If you all haven't gone down there and you're in the area, I'm going to tell you that's a good place to stop. They have very high quality stuff. And like most of the metaphysical stores, they have a variety of different things. They're trying to reach out to everyone who has different beliefs about different things. And almost every store, every one of these metaphysical stores, you get just about everyone. You're gonna find you won't find it at our place. You won't find it at the Spiritual Foundation because it's not true. It's a major fallacy. Something that was made to corrupt your belief systems is things that flow towards the law of attraction. Marketing, the way it is today, what's the first thing? If you're marketing, if you have a business where you sell product, what do you want to do? You want to find out what people want. You're going to find some way to produce that, or find it somewhere cheap and then resell it, and maybe put your own spin on it. Okay? We don't do that. I've never done that. Deanna's never done that. The Spiritual Foundation does not do that. And it never has, and it never will. I won't be here forever. I keep getting worse, and there's something very important I need to tell you about that in just a few minutes. But let me finish what I'm doing. Something I need to say in light of what might happen in the near future. Anyway, so back to the excuse me. Turn this thing off. So they have wonderful. Anyway, so that what better selling tool would there be for a business than telling people if they think it right, they can have whatever they want. Wow. Yes, I believe in this because I want things I don't have. Most of us, there's so many out there, all they want is something to eat. To be able to pay a doctor bill. That's wrong, that's changing. When our friends come here, or we call them ETs, our friends, family members from other planets. And they're going to come in different bodies, and most of you have had lives in these different bodies. So when they look so strange, look at what you see, try and get a grasp of it, and then just let your heart open up and remember, feel who they are, what their intent is, and understand that they're here to help. But remember, chances are, for those of you that are involved in this, for the average is somewhere between 8 and 9 out of 10 of you have had lives in these bodies. Now, having said that, this store is awesome. Because I talk freely about things, like I think everyone should, but they can't. So I annoyed them, and I annoy all of them. I get into it with the authorities of the Phoenix and Dragon. Someone yells at me, they opened up a can of worms. That light's not even on, but the other light's flickered, which is funny. The only light in here that's not new is the one over there, and that one's actually off. I should have it on. It supplies more far red light. Honey, could you turn this light on, the overhead light? I had my hands full when I came in here. You see more of me, we'll turn it into Halloween. Thanks, honey. Anyway, so I rubbed them the wrong way. But the first time I walked in a place, I walked in and then here. And, these stores, they have people there who do readings and stuff, what they call readings. I understand. I respect their opinion. entirely. I go to everyone's stone counters when used to go in the stores, and I see people and I match them up with their stones. Why? Because I want to help them. And while I'm there, every time I'm there, the people who sell stones, every time I'm there, for the time I'm there, their stone sales increase, anywhere from 100% to about 600, 700%. It depends on how many people are there. Because I see frequencies, I see energy, I know who needs what. Somebody look at this, and what do you say something for one person, there's a few other people there, and then here they come. Down at the Phoenix and Dragon, I used to get, sometimes I would literally, I want to help everyone, but I had to go, I had to, whatever. Damn heart. I didn't want to be rude, but I wanted to ruin. That's where I met Archangel Gabriel one time. Part of him popped in, made a body pop. Actually shook my hand, gave me a look, and had some kind of crosswords to say. He knew that I knew. He spoke freely. He's gone now. One of the most arrogant, disgusting angels I've ever met. The original angels were the servants of the original first being. That's all they were. That's all they understood, all they knew. The very first ones created, were strongest. Then, as the original first being, male and female, released more parts of themselves, which was the souls, then they needed to release some more angels. And when they did, they weren't as strong. They couldn't be, because there was less of the original first being, male and female. They give away from themselves. They diminish in size, and then they slowly grow larger, but neither of them ever had a life. Anyway, the first time I was there, the Forever Day, a lady walked in, and there was two dogs jumping all over the place. It's hard for me to go back and look at anything, to go back through time and do something. It's hard for me to do anything anymore. Sometimes I can't even go downstairs to make my own coffee, but excuse me. But there were two dogs hanging around. One was like a collie, and one more like a shepherd, and I saw them bouncing up and down, jumping with them. They were so happy. And they really loved each other, but they knew the dogs had passed. Okay, they both the beings inside, the animal essence inside, both of them were there. They knew I was there, and they knew I was gonna, bring them up. So the lady walked in, and I saw the dogs there jumping. I just looked at her and the dogs. The excitement, the energy was so strong, and because I was talking with one of the owners, and I told them who they were, the past lives, and the male, the husband. I looked at him. I told him who they were, what the past life was, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But they were the Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus, but it's like Klaussen or something like that. Northeast as it goes, Scandinavian area, long time ago. And she was the one who had the wife was the one who, what do they say, had to hold on to the purse strings, had to keep the money, organize it, make sure things happen properly. And then the husband always had stomach ulcer problems and everything like that. The stomach was always messed up, but he loved to build stuff, do stuff with kids. And when I looked at him and talked to him, I told the two of them that, I said, you still have, stomach problems and everything. They're pretty severe, just like you did that life. So the two of them were looking at me a little funny, and then the lady walked in, and then I looked at the dogs jumping around. I said, ma'am, I'm apologize if I'm being rude, but you have two dogs jumping at you all over the place. Man, I love you so much. They're really excited to be here. But they're really happy to be with you. All the love you've given them. And she broke down crying, saying, yeah, they just, they left recently. I told them which one had been gone longer and everything. And see, what I've always done, except for my consultations, and I've talked with people everywhere, I did all day long. When we used to go out places, I'd tell, I want people to know something like this can happen so that they understand they can do it too. This is not about me, but I have to engage myself to try to get more of you to get engaged into becoming who you really are. So, anyway, so then they figured out I was, really strong. And whatever I was very active, very alive. They could feel energy anyway. Anyway, the reason why I brought it up, I really love these people. I haven't been there in the longest time, but when people ask me something, I want to tell them. But you have to respect the fact that you're in their store. So I try to say what little I can and get the hell out of there. But I always liked to help people with stones because it helps the people who own the place because they're selling their product. And it's important that they stay in business because more and more people are going to start waking up. These metaphysical stores. These metaphysical stores are going to, you're going to see more and more of them. They'll be popping up everywhere. Where you have convenience stores, there's going to be attachments to the convenience store or product that they sell where it's going to start coming out everywhere. Gas stations. Quick QT or whatever. Okay, anyway, speaking about stones, we're not selling them yet. It's hard for you to see this. It's a little bit of it's polished, but it's a little bit rough from being in my pockets. We just, a short while ago, had gotten a bunch of Numite. Numite is one of the most important stones there is to your awakening because it helps you calm down. It soothes, relaxes your energy. However, it does not ground you. So if you want to literally get grounded to the earth, get some, and you want some help getting grounded to the earth, then get some hematite. We have some, but we ought to get some more. And remember, Deanna's not selling stones, right now. She does what she can to take care of you. And I told Deanna, I said, pretty soon, it's Christmas time. She needs to shut the shop for a while to relax. Deanna's like me. She's go, go, go. It's either sleep or or get going. And again, as soon as I do get out of here, she will be closed for a while. About my leaving, there's something important I need to say, and I need to say it now. There is nothing on the other side that is capable of properly removing me or even removing me from this body. All those other parts of me out there, they don't want to touch. They're standing there, just say, keep going, the body's dying. I don't have time to wait forever. Every moment that I'm in this body, suffering's happening everywhere. And now when this body drops and I get out, suffering does not stop everywhere. But the removal of it begins. The proper treatment of everyone by their spirit guides and everything else out there begins. The rest of the garbage that's out. The rest of the garbage that's out there will be deleted. And what can be fixed will be frozen and set aside. It's the best way I can explain it. I don't have words to describe everything I understand, everything I can do. I don't have words for that. And most of it shouldn't be said anyway. I have to speak in terms of myself sometimes because I'm the one here doing this. If I say I see something, well, I'm seeing it. There's no look how great I am because I can see. There's just simply I see. And the thought process that drags along with that is the fact that you can too. So start trying. The hardest thing for me when I was waking up is, how do you see? How do I use my opinion? How do I see? And this lady started laughing. She was usually with me when I was waking up on different planets, different lives. And she started laughing. And I said, what's so funny? She said, if you knew how many times you do this, for the first time. And this is when I was first waking up, a long time ago, years ago. And she said, just do it. And I went to look and I saw something. I said, well, all I see is so-and-so, and I don't have any faith in that. That's the whole problem, seeing. Not having any faith in yourself. Why you've never been allowed to. You're seeing stuff. We're going to tell everyone you're crazy. We're going to take away everything you own. We're putting you in a nut house. Wish his fracking heart would just quit. When the heart murmurs real hard, it makes you stop and catch a deeper breath. Especially it's accentuated when you have 2 different lung diseases. I'll try and keep my anger out of this, but my head. Anyway, to get to the point and get moving forward. I've never had anyone I could trust to get me out. I kept getting days. I could see it happening, feel it happening, and then poof, nothing happens. I've always told everyone, never take, don't take your life. Don't hurt yourself. Don't take drugs. Feed your body what you need. Okay? One time, it was necessary while I was here that I do something and put myself, you can say, in harm's way. In a big way, and put myself into a hospital and then a rehab. And I did that to prove that even though I put myself there and I signed the paperwork, even though I did that, when 2 different groups of psychiatrists talked with me and had me there under their scrutiny with my signature saying that if they feel the need, they can lock me up for a year. In a mental institution, mental hospital for a year. Now, why the hell did I do that? To prove a point like almost every other damn thing I've done. The metaphysical realm, creation is much more metaphysical than it is physical. You need to know who you are. You're incredibly powerful intelligent, the vast majority compassionate. Call it super beings. Your spirit, sentient energy. Many will call that super compared to what this little thought process we have about this big of who we are and what's really going on. You hear voices, lock them up. You're supposed to be talking with your spirit guides. They're here to help you. Everything has been set up. All this creation that's physical. Where the hell is the grace of a physical creation? Once you've awakened, you can see things for what they really are. You'll understand what I'm saying. And a lot of you have been listening to me for years and you want to stand for yourself. I've told you never take anything for face value. Never have blind faith, because blind faith will literally let you walk into doors, off cliffs. Listen to what I say and make up your own mind about it. But try waking up, becoming yourself first. You know inside that there's more to you than what you're aware of. You know you're not that body that's in front of you. You're something inside it. You know that every creation is wrong, that everything here is done wrong. Why? Creation was made to be abusive from the very first day. It was done by the original first being, male and female, and it was done to make you grow bigger and stronger so that one day in creation, which was Earth in the 5th age, December 21st, 2012, that many of you would be put together with your spirit mates, put into another one of the new universes that's untouched, and then release a third of your own energy. The more they abused you when you came out of the body, the bigger you were. So therefore, when they finally put you two together, instead of releasing just say 100 billion, you might release 1 trillion new beings. So, and all these new beings would eventually do the same thing. Everything grows, and everyone's praising the original first being, male and female. You've heard this before 100 times, but for the new people coming in, the original first being was alone. It was lonely. It came from the first dimension. 5 different energies came together, and then heavy particulate matter was pulled into it, causing all kinds of crazy issues. But the more heavy matter you have in something, the more lower frequencies you have, which tend to be more negative. At least it's closer to a 0, which means lower frequencies. Okay, but we call it negativity because the closer you are to that, the more negative your attitude towards things. Folks, we're still on track of where we're going. Just hang in here. It's important that I say this now. It was 27.5% lower frequencies. That's not very good. And it was lonely. It was a first being. And it literally split itself into 2 slightly different parts so it would have company. That was a creation of male and female. These other 4 first new beings that are in there, the 4th one now, there was one in there. It's been destroyed already. It had to go, so it's gone. Your janitor's job is to clean up the messes, but it was so negative. It was going to come out and just go crazy. It was going to be about 87% lower frequencies when it came out of the first dimension, and then it would literally tear everything up. And that's not going to happen. It's not allowed. That's why they made Arae in the very beginning. Anyway, that's how we got to where it is. That's why there's so much abuse. And they've been destroyed. They're angels, the original first angels, all the problematic ones, which is almost all of them, they've been destroyed. So things are changing. They're going to get better. You'll see it. It's just going to happen. There's no one to thank. Prayer is a sickness. You think it's something good to help. Why? All in creation are equal. Every single living thing in creation is equal to everything else. Period. Starts with me, ends with you. But it's just keeps going. That's what it is. Everything has equal value. in creation. It has equal importance, equal standing. Everything in creation. Every single thing. All right. Some people ask why, I say something I've said before. I've been around for years. New people come in. This stuff, these videos will be out there. This information will be out there for a solid 100 years here on this planet. Our friends, CTs, they're the ones that have it and understand it better. They have my books before I even had them copyrighted. They had their copies. All their intelligence and compassion and the technology and everything, they didn't know. They knew more than us, but they didn't know what was going on. So, okay. So anyway, because there's no one there that'll take me home, I have to leave. I cannot stay here. It tears me apart to still be in this body when I have a job to do. I've always said, take care of your body, feed yourself properly, take care of yourself. Even smoking weed, okay, it affects how you see things. It alters what you see. Good flash of the light there. It alters your imagery, so it's going to mess with you. So I do not have no desire to and do not control lives. My job is to control, abuse, and protect. What was controlling you? The original first angels, under the commands of the original first being halves, male and female, they will go inside through your 3 crowns and then go to the hypothalamus. It's like this picture I showed you. They go right in through the top. They go right in here, right through the top, into the upper crown, through the middle crown, and then through the lower crown, right into the hypothalamus. Once they get there, into that, these are energy fields, right? Once they get there, they control you. An angel could go in there and tell you, you have to punch yourself in the face as hard as you can, or you have to slam your face at your head into a door. And you will push anyone out of the way to desperately hurry up and get to that door and slam your face in it. Why? Because they're controlling your physical body through the hypothalamus gland and that neighboring area. They're dead. That'll never happen anymore. So, but all that's been taken away. You have freedom now to move around, to do as you want. You have more freedom than ever. But once I'm out of here, go home and start changing things, you'll see. I don't like ever mentioning something about what I'm going to do, but I'm not afraid to do it either. Some people say, oh, you shouldn't say that. Oh, I don't give a damn. I never have. First people that met me, I started having everyone come up, want to manage me. First thing you do is get out of those overalls, get a suit and tie, and then you come out and you're this and this and that, and I'm like, have a nice day, but you're having it without me. Love you, but bye. It's about what really exists. Can you understand what it's like especially when it started, to be the only one that could actually see this, the only one that knows what I know while stuck in a body. And I am so limited to what I can do when I'm in a body. Like the rest, just like the rest of you. It's like I'm got my arms crossed around me, wrapped around me. My whole body in duct tape, wrapped in duct tape, chains put around me. And then we get thrown in a river, into the lake, to a deep lake, and then they scream at us from the boat saying, "Swim, I taught you how to swim." That's the insanity of creation. So I've asked you to take care of yourself, and I've told you there's no better time than any life you've ever had. And many of you, most of you have had millions, but many of you had hundreds of billions, even a trillion lives. You've never had one as good as this is about to be. So I've always asked you to please hang on. Later on in upcoming lives, when you want to come out of the body, you're going to have a way to slowly shut your body down and come out. In Oregon, in the United States, when you just legally prove that your life isn't worth having anymore because of your physical health and stuff like that. If I lived in Oregon, I could pay to have someone come and euthanize this body so I could get the hell out. I'm not in Oregon. I can't stay. I have a job to do. And as much as I'm concerned about leaving the wrong message, I'm leaving. One way or the other. I keep getting closer. I'm tired of waiting. I'm not about to go hairy-carry on myself. But I'm leaving you a message. I'm going. One way or the other, this body's dropping. But if it's done, if it seems aggressive to others, I'm not leaving a message of it's okay to ever hurt yourself. What I'm trying to do is my job. So this isn't a call for help or anything stupid like people like to say. Doctors, they don't know what the hell to make of me. I said, I just want to be comfortable when I go. Not getting these little surgeries, keep blowing up like a water balloon, and I get worse every day, but I'm being kept alive. I'm being made to suffer as much as possible before getting out of this body. Because the more suffering you go through while you're in a body, the bigger and stronger you get. What I am is no longer affected by that. Once out of this body, I will continue to grow at a rate. Once I'm released from it, I'll grow at a rate that is stronger, faster than I've ever been growing in a body before, other than this life. Killing everything, the fighting I've gone through. When this energy changed into something new, completely new, it's never been seen in creation, never. It's not in the first dimension, it's nowhere. The NSA were here the very next day. 4 of them eating around the house and a 5th one on the road. And I've told you all about talking with one Homeland Security and one FBI gentleman out in front of the house. And if I have to force my way home, the other side does not want that. The parts of me out of the body on the other side do not want that. Because I'm going to be furious. So, for someone who might happenstance upon this video, they might say, look at this clown. Look at this self-absorbed fool. This idiot. This guy's sick. Needs to be in a nut house. Well, that's one of the reasons why I had to put myself in one. Not in a mental institution, but in a rehab center where they do pull um, come on, calm down, where they pull a psychological triage on you. I left and then when I got out, I was out a couple of weeks, and I had to go see another group, and both groups said, "Hey, man, I don't know what the hell you are, but awesome. No, you don't need to come see us on regular visits. No, you don't need any kind of strong medication or anything. I have meds that I have to take for montelukast, generic singular Nexium, Symbicort for the lungs, just to keep breathing. I'm supposed to be taking high blood pressure medicine too. My high blood pressure, the doctor freaked out when Deanna took me down there I think it was yesterday, I can't remember, and it was like 179 over 116, and she was freaking out, and I was laughing my ass off, and she's looking at me like, I said, "Sweetie, even on blood pressure medicine," I said, "I'm usually 209. I said, I said, "I know this sounds strange, and I know I'm not your normal patient. I'm anxious to get out of this body. I have no intentions to be harming myself," and that wasn't a lie. I have no present intention of hurting myself. But I had to make this statement. I will leave. I will be home. I will do my job. Nothing has ever stopped me, and nothing will. And if there's nothing home to get me home, then voila, I will be home. Anyway, so she didn't know what to think. But I said, "Look," I said, just try to understand where I'm at. You come in a body and you go out. I'm in the out phase, and I need to be out of here, and I'm suffering. So that's all. I said, but I want to be comfortable, and just when it's time, just drop. So she says, "Well, I understand." She looked at me, and she gave me a mental test just to see if I'm awake and aware, and yeah, I was. And I missed one of the questions. There was a phrase she gave me with a few different things in it. And there's one little piece of it I missed. One word. It wasn't joined. But anyway, she kind of like, "Okay, I said, "I missed that last one." I said, "I have an issue with it." And she goes, "That's much better than anyone else ever does." I know who I am, what I'm doing. I had to prove that I'm not a nut, so that I had physical proof to leave you that says I'm not some kind of nutcase. Again, it's all about the information I've left you. Those people that need to be here to crank you up, they're cranked up. As soon as I'm out of the body, the other ones that need it, they'll get it. Period. Immediately. As soon as I finish cleaning up. I got to mop up on the other side. As soon as that's done, boom. 3.5, 4 months after this body's finally dropped and I'm free, everyone that needs to be is going to be fired up, cranked up. I'll go inside them. From the other side, they won't know. They'll just grow. See, the more I talk about this, the more other parts of myself on the other side get aggressive about, taking me out of here. Everyone keeps saying, "Look, you're coming out." I said, "Frack that." It's not the word I use, but I said, "That's enough of this crap." The most intelligent, the most powerful, the core of who you really are is a piece of you that's stuck in that body. The rest of you's flowing outside of it, here in the third dimension and the second dimension. Deanna and I have so many pictures, and that last book that she and I are going to be co-authors on. She's going to finish it. I'm not going to be here. But like I was just saying, okay, here's you Here's your upper crown. This is a frequency filter. It literally takes the harshness out of all your frequencies. And here's the rest of you that comes out of your body. Here's the third dimension. Here's the second dimension. And you're here in this dimension and you flow out. It does not look exactly like a balloon. This is done just to show a basic principle. Okay, so you're huge. Y'all are going to love the information in that last book. It's very important. And for those of you that, for the very few that are out there that might wonder, what is this stuff? We have scientists, neurological doctors and such that actually look at this stuff. So they actually work with it. They have some of the books. This is all about you. This is all about you. And I have a job and I'm tired of waiting. So, if by some chance something happens, I want you to understand why it happened. I fear nothing. I'm not afraid of the first damn thing, period. Sometimes somebody say, I'm going to kill you. And I said, what are you waiting for, bitch? Get it. Hurry up. Just make sure you do it. They just look at you. You look them right in the eye and you meet it. And they don't know what the hell to think. They're trying to freak you out. And you put that look in their eyes. Eyes connect. They go inside. Who they are inside comes out, goes inside my eyes. They talk to me. Not this beat up piece of crap body. Me. And then that's why they always back off. All I want is what's best for you, and what's best for you is your freedom to do what you want, no matter what it is, as long as it's not hurting someone else. Non-abuse, that's the format of creation, the new format. Compassion, honor, and equality. Just don't be abusive. Just for a second, we're going back into the main part of the video here in a minute. Numite. The thing about Numite, when you have Numite on you, get a couple pieces, but it's expensive. They say it's the oldest stone on the planet, and honestly, it's one of them. You put a piece in each pocket, or hold it with your fingers here. Take one. The fingertips of both hands you want to connect, because you want it to go in this arm into your core, and then on this arm into your core. And it goes right through your heart when it does. So you hold it relaxed, and then your energy. Okay. A lot of people don't know that those people who have pink auras, compassion, that's all it is. It's a wussy. I know some men that have pink auras. Their auras are primarily pink because they have such strong compassion. And if you went up to, you would never have the balls to go up to them and call them a wussy. Never. You'd pee in your pants before you left. 99% of everyone. 99.9%. Now, this is your basic chakras, okay? The offset, yeah, they are. 25%, average 25. An average of 25% of your heart energy is in your core, and 7/8 of your solar plexus is buried inside your core. Your spirit core goes through your body. It goes inside and basically follows your spine from the tip of the coccyx up through, actually right at the top of the crown up here. They call it a kundalini. It used to be 2 snakes. No one on this planet, no being, no living animal, no being of any type, no person of any type, which is being. I think of plants as people. No one has a dual core spirit anymore on this planet. Other planets, yes. I didn't want to talk about the pineal real quick, and then I was asked to, and that's what happened with that flash of light just a second ago. If you look at the pineal up here, okay, and where the third eye is, you see that 2 hard blue dots in the field around it. The hard blue dots are the focal points within the pineal field that are right here, and then also the larynx, the voice box. That's all pineal energy. But that softer blue that those dark blue dots are in, that's the actual pineal field energy comes from the pineal, comes straight on out. But within the pineal field, it focuses at the throat and the third eye up here, and it rests up against the vision field. All these fields, everything, Deanna has that, okay? And that won't be released until it's time, and it's coming out. All that stuff's coming out in book form. People, and they're all, as you can tell it, down here, it's all copyrighted. So we've gotten these copyrights, not so you couldn't use an image of it for yourself. We have these copyrights to, actually Deanna has them there in her name. All that stuff, all my copyrights, everything belongs to Deanna. If you don't copyright something when you create it, then someone can actually come behind you, take your image, copyright it in their name, and then actually keep you from using what you created. That's not going to happen. Now, if somebody were to take any of our images, she and I make them together, but they're hers. If anyone takes these images and tries to sell them, that's a legal violation, and they're going to pay. If you take it and use it for yourself, fine, good. You should, but if you want all the information, understand what it is and how it works so you can teach it to other people, then just buy the information and use it. As long as you take it and have it, you want to use it for classes. Heck, send Deanna an email and say, I want to use this for my classes. I can't speak for her, but my feeling is she's going to be fine with it. But no one's going to, first off, no, take it from us. Second of all, no one's going to make money off of it. Okay, if you want to use that image in your class, you teach and stuff, throw it up on the wall. But leave it with the trademark on there. It's it has the copyright, but we also have I forget what you call it. We have all this legal stuff taken care of. I spend way too much money on lawyers, especially regarding this house and my sick sister. Jill's a nut. Anyway, people get what they deserve. Karma's a bitch, and that bitch wears overalls. The image itself, the logo, it's a tiger with a lion's mane on it, and that's kind of like stands for Deanna and I. It's a tiger energy with a lion's mane. And those of you that have asked for my help as the golden lion or the silver raccoon. I know some of you you've gotten a hold of me to tell me, but I'm good. I'm here to do everything I can for all of you, including this last life. And this is my last Christmas, and I need to get back to it. But as you know, all my videos, I cover as much as I can because many people come in for the first time. And even though it's going to be a while before it's really open properly, like I said, now we have so much stuff that there's a little over 10% of what we have on the website. You should see all the stones in this room. I had the foundation squared away and really beefed up on this back side of the house where all the stone is. We have tons of stone here. These places where we go to get our stone, there's tons of them. Anyway, back to the Numite. Okay, I'll hold this up as long as I can. When you hold it with your hands, the energy comes down here, and right about here, below the knees, it goes out along the ground. It does not connect you to the ground. It literally floats outward. So it calms your energy down, but then spreads it out above the ground. It does not set you into the ground. If you want to be set in the ground and calm down like that, get hematite and Numite. It's Nuumite. Numite relaxes you. Now, take some Numite. Take some, AAA Numite, AAA selenite, okay? Take the two of them. This is a strong energy stone, okay? This is for relaxing. So someone would say, oh, those are opposing forces. Yin and yang, they can't mix. No. You put them together and you build something else. Numite helps you relax, while the selenite is energizing your body. So your body's picking up energy. It's moving quicker. It has a very high pulsation going through it, but you're relaxed about it. You can relax and feel the energy. Then get some really, it's all beautiful. Get some really strong lapis, some good Afghani lapis. You put them together, it relaxes you, but still leaves you pumping energy inside yourself, but it's relaxed. So you're activated and relaxed about it. And then the lapis activates your pineal gland. And then what happens? Then you can see better. The more relaxed you are, the more you release your conscious mind, the more you see. Now, stone energy, that's not in this video. Well, every one of my videos has a lot of different stuff on it. And then on top of those stones, you add some good citrine. That helps you focus. Citrine cleans and brings stuff together to focus it. And if the image is still fuzzy, put some picture jasper in there. Okay, moving along from that. Let's get back to the Christmas thing. So, a long time ago in upper northeast Scandinavia, Sweden, Norway, all those places, it's way up there. It's like the northeastern tip of Norway, but it's a little to the right of that. It's not quite that high up, but it's near that, and a little to the right in the woods. There was a man and a woman that couldn't have kids. They don't have any of this life either, as I understand. I don't know. That's, personal between them. But there are similarities between lives you've had before and lives you had now. And these two people are wonderful. I love them. And it's funny how they're so much like they were back then. He really loved, he would literally go out in the woods, collect wood that had fallen off of a tree, dead wood, drier wood, and make stuff out of it, toys. He started with stuff around the house for his wife, he and his wife. They didn't have a lot of money. And they were getting on a little bit in age. And but he would make things with wood, and she'd cook and take care of things, and people would come by, and they'd trade, so they'd have food. But when the traders came and they had kids, or little kids wandered into the place, there'd be a little shelf of toys, and they'd say, okay, pick out a toy you like and take it with you. And it was something that he made out of wood. There were nails and other stuff used too sometimes, but he tried to do everything out of wood. And it was the wood that he was given from the forest that they lived in. So the toys were so cool that other kids would get up there, and they literally, there's a town that wasn't too far away, and the kids would actually come up there more and more. And he, they wanted to have children that life, and they didn't. So this was their way to enjoy children. So more kids came, and they didn't want anything for it. Sometimes people would leave something, sometimes not. But when the kids snuck up there by themselves, they didn't have anything. They were little kids. So he made the things. He made them. He made all these toys, and he let them all just take one. And the next thing you know, some of the parents came up and, did you really give my child this toy? Because we think he might have stolen it, he or she might have stolen it or something. So the people in that town, there were a lot of nice people, and back then you didn't have much. So people worked together to stay together. Somebody could do better at this than they do for others, while others could do for them for other stuff. There was family, there was community. And as time went on, the people in this town, he would actually take some of the presents and bring them into town. And as time went on, then the people in the town really got to know him, the two of them, and they got older. Eventually, of course, they died. But as he became too old to do anything, other men that were living in that little town started the same thing. So there's no town of elves, but there was a town of people who were helping the original Santa Claus. And his name was something like Klaussen, something like that. And it was at the coldest time of the year back then. Getting ready to start the new year, that's when it was most important for people to have hope. That's when he used to take some of his toys and take them into town and help the children who had nothing. So that's what Christmas really is. Love my coffee. I gotta get that new blood pressure medicine, like I'm gonna take it. Blood pressure is high. It is. I only have 1 cup of coffee today, but that's literally 4 double shots of espresso. But it's only 1 cup. Anyway, the wonderful gift of giving at the time when people needed it most, by a man. By a man who had basic necessities and nothing else, and wanted to see joy in a child's eye. So that's where this guy came from. That's where this mystical image of this big fat guy in a red outfit, that's where he came from. The truth of the matter is there was a mother and father, a man and a woman, a husband and wife is what I was trying to say, that wanted to help people out, and they did. And then the town, there were a lot of good people in that town, and as he got sick and couldn't do it anymore, then he said, we can't let this die. So they didn't. This thing about Jesus Christ, nah. Born in a manger, nah. Jesus' father came from the house of David. They were rich. Not only was he not born in a manger, but when they were traveling at the time, and then the hotel, if the place they stayed in, the house they stayed in, was so elaborate that they actually had a huge stable where people, when they were coming through, like caravans, they could take care of like 40 camels. 40 camels. And they had like the nicest room in the house when they stayed there for a little while. I can tell you what the place looked like. I've said it before. The rooms weren't very big. Now this is going to be a little bit inverted, but follow what I'm saying on what side. It was a square, pretty much square room. The bed was about 2.5, 3 feet away from about between 2.5 and 3 feet off of the exterior wall on the right hand side as you're standing at the wall looking at the foot of the bed to the head of the bed. The window was on the right hand side there on that wall exterior. Excuse me. And it was closer to the a good bit closer to the wall, to the headboard wall than it was where the footbed was. Past the footbed where I would be standing. And then there was a doctor over here, a nurse over here, midwives, whatever they call them, and then another person over here to go bring stuff in and out when JC was born in the nicest bed in the place. Born in a manger, immaculate birth, ton of crap. Back then, all the religions were fighting for who can get the most people into them. Make up your lies. Well, our God did this. Yes, but our God had this son and they did all this. Let's see you top that. Wow. When in reality, although it wasn't allowed to be, the truth was everyone's equal. Now that the original first being male and female are dead, and everything else that's a problem is dead, gone, deleted, now it can be what it always should have been. So anyway, this thing, and then there were others that knew that Mary was pregnant. Because the family of David was very rich, very powerful, yeah, there were some rich people that came. There's about 5 of them that were pretty big. 3 very rich people that came for the birth. They knew where they were going to be. Everyone knew the basic route of the caravan and where they were going. All these lies to substantiate a control, an abusive control system for you. And, you want to yell at people, honestly, you got to take it where it belongs. Or how it all started, the original first being. Did you know that if you had energy bodies like the Fae, instead of these physical bodies, you'd never have pain? There'd be no suffering. Creating children of your own takes at the most 2 minutes. You can easily do it in 60 seconds. It happens immediately. 0 pain, 0 suffering. But you don't have disease. You don't have the need to eat anything physical. There never should have been physical bodies, except the original first being male and female wanted you to have abuse to make you bigger, to create more praise machines for them. There's your God, okay? And that thing's dead. Both halves, male and female. Anyway, enough of that. This isn't spoiling Christmas. I want you to know that it's a legend that started with a couple, a married couple, and that man did everything he could to make the life of those around him better, even though he was so sick with his stomach. It bothered him so much, and he keep going. As long as he could, he'd keep going. They had some soup that they liked to make that would help him out. That's funny. It's like chicken soup or something, but it's like ducks or something. I don't know. But anyway, that's what Christmas is about to me. It's not a pack of religious lies. I understand them for what they are. And part of me is trying to keep me from saying this. So much for that. Anyway, and JC's not around anymore either. He was so abused. I stuck up for him so much. Went out of bodies. He'd be attacked by the original person, being male and female, to keep him in line because he was getting a little headstrong. But when he was on the cross and he asked for help, he said, "Father, how can you abandon me now?" That actually happened. And all he wanted is for the male part of the original first being to talk to him when he was suffering. Now, he didn't suffer. He didn't die on a cross. He suffered. He went through hell for about a few hours, 5, 6 hours, 4 hours, might have been an eternity. The amount of suffering from being punctured over 4 hours. A little under 5 hours, but the actual suffering was going on for about 8 hours. And then it happened right on Lent or something. So, and anyway, they then pulled him off, but you cannot minimize what had happened to him. And his uncle, I can't remember who he was, Joseph, I can't remember, had silver mines. And he literally was shown in his head how to make forged metal. You know, some serious forged metal, and he did, and then he was told to coat it with silver. So those nails that were used on him were much smaller than any of the nails used, you know, on any of the others. They were, thank you. They were. I never looked to see that, and I just got it, and then I was looking to see it while I was saying it, just to make sure it wasn't incorrect. And that's what with the light flash. But still, it happened though. Doesn't matter if it was smaller. Still, I mean, it does matter, but I mean, it happened. He lived a good while after that, and he was crippled as hell. I mean, all this abuse. Why? To make you bigger and stronger, to create more praise machines, to praise the original first being male and female. That's the reason for the words at the beginning of this video. Anyway, all right, so that's what it's all about. And when JC was born, it was not anywhere near Christmas. But that's the real true story of Christmas. Even as much as I never liked religion, even being stuck in it like I had to be. I was I was a little kid. I was put there, like it or not, and I was very young and couldn't afford to take care of myself yet. So I had no choice. But I grew to understand more about it. So there was a Santa Claus, but not like what you see, the reindeer and sleigh and stuff. Sometimes people would come to see him, and they had more money, and the people in the town itself, they did have reindeer. They had reindeer. They used them for transportation, and they would get in a sleigh, and they'd all come out and see him, have a nice little feast. But it was always before the New Year that he came down to bring toys. It was a few days before the New Year. And he'd bring toys to the people, to the kids. So, to me, Christmas is Klaussen Day. And the fallacies of these religions, Christianity, Buddhism, Muslim, Islam, the Jewish, all of it. That's all crap. It's all bull. What's real, what actually exists, is you as your true self, spirit. Not when you're in a body, but then when you're in a body, that's real too. That's you being in a body having a life. But that's not your normal, your natural state of existence. Well, hopefully those of you that are being bothered, there's less and less of it. I'm doing what I can. I'm doing everything I can, but I'm really limited, and I'm really sick, and I'm dying. It's just not fast enough. But I promise you, it's not going to be much longer. One way or the other. I'm moving forward. I don't appreciate the situation I'm in, but I'm in it, and I need to deal with it as best I can. I know I expect, don't want to, but I'm expecting to see myself go into next year. It's only a few days away. And the alarm system, I'm not going to be able to get that finished. I physically want to get that finished before I leave. And we're waiting for an important part of it. So, but once that's done, I'll have no patience. So January might be a rather tumultuous month. But if I have to force the issue, there's going to be an explosion upon my arrival. An aggression that's never been anywhere. I am what I am, and I'm not afraid to say it. I care about doing a job, not what other people think of it. I know what's right. I've been around the longest, and I've gone through more of it. And I'm selfless. So, folks, excuse me. Love you. I've always loved this time of year because I see people opening up to the natural states, the majority of them, and enjoying giving people something. Receiving is nice, but giving that's what I like. We have to maintain our lives. We have to fulfill a purpose. Those of us that are hard directed to do so. Meaning we have something we know we have to get done. If not, just enjoy life the best you can. There's a lot of compassion out there, and you can start seeing more of it because there's nothing to keep it. There's nothing messing with it anymore. Almost nothing. So I hope you have a good holiday, get together with friends, have a good time, and things will continually to get better, but it's time for change. I'm done waiting. So, and I have no faith in anything else on the other side being able to do anything because it keeps showing it won't. And if it won't, I will. I'm pissed. So getting away from that, folks. I love you. Take care. Have a good holidays. And be good to yourself. But don't hesitate to show compassion to those you care about, even when they're not able to handle it. Just cut the dosage down and leave it with them, because it'll help them. They'll appreciate it, but it's going to help them to open up a little bit. Creation's turning upside down as far as what it was. It's freedom to be who you really are and do what you want, as long as it's not abusive. Y'all take care. Happy holidays.